Lynn, would you
Yes.
step into the great stone hall for me?
Indeed, I will.
You look into the eyes of Master Herma, Master Elodin, Master Hem, Master Bundia, Master Brender, Master Arwol, Master Mendrick, Master Kilvin, and Master Exladal.
Very fancy titles.
And they stare at you. And let's see. Master Kilvin, a Keldish fellow with a thick accent, bear-like fellow. He looks at you and he says, "How much water would you need? Put out a square meter of fire that burns at 200 degrees."
A lot.
Quite a bit. Just enough, and not a single bit more.
Yeah, he's not gonna like that.
He frowns. I
Let's
was
see.
expecting a number.
So I think she leans backwards, so taps the side of her head. So what's it? 1 square meter of fire, 200 degrees. That's so and so many units of heat. And I think she's actually doing math on this.
Okay.
But I need a
man, it sounds like some geometrics coming in there.
Indeed. Did not expect to be able to use that this quickly.
I can totally imagine geometrics coming into this, definitely.
Indeed, I just need a good skill to roll for this. So, but could I use alchemy for this, perhaps? Just knowing how fire and water interact with each other. I imagine I'd probably put out a few fires in my alchemy.
What are you planning on using?
Alchemy.
I think it's more chemistry. Might be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I have the questions, because we're kind of splitting up the two skills a bit. Could I move a point away from alchemy and then open chemistry with that? If I reduce my alchemy from 4 to 3 to open chemistry?
So imagine you can choose to have either alchemy or chemistry, and the other one you'll have to learn, or you can spend your general points on them, but you wouldn't have both of them in your skill list.
Okay.
Oh.
So you can do that with one of your general points, if you want to.
Yeah, then I'm. So let's see. I do have some general points to spare. 4, and I've only used 1.
Oh, well, then you can
one
definitely do it.
Yeah, so then I'm gonna take a general point out of alchemy and just say.
Or like alternatively, you can say that you already have chemistry and use a general point to open alchemy. I mean, that's up to you, of course.
Yeah, just how the math works out. But I'll base it on chemistry then.
Okay.
And did we say perception and agility for chemistry?
Yeah.
Make sure that I have the roots and everything right.
And you can fork in alchemy, I imagine.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, and I think I'd like to go ahead and use, if I can use a general point, then I definitely want to open chemistry.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so chemistry, and then one fork from one fork into alchemy, one point from geometric, and let's see, can I use anything else? See, I think she might have been trying a bit of philosophy for the first thing, like her first attempt at answering the question. It's like, okay, that's not how we're doing it. Then
No, with Master Kelvin, that is not how you do it.
Yeah. So can I count that as forking in philosophy? As part of my answering the question?
Would it be part of your second answer?
I mean, it'd be part of the answer as a whole.
I mean, you can fork in. I imagine you can fork it in, but it will just increase your base obstacle as well. So that's up to you.
Yeah, that's not worth it then.
It doesn't really have a result. because you can try and use it against Master Kelvin, but you won't get any bonus points for it.
Yeah, then I think that's gonna be it. Just the 2 forks.
Okay, the base obstacle is 3.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna spend. Let's see. I might fake this later. Let's see how it plays out first.
Yeah.
And ob 3.
No problem.
Got it.
If you have any 6s, you can still try to use fate, but you don't. So
I do. Yeah,
is it? Nice.
Indeed. So yeah, I dropped the formula. Probably drop some quick spreadsheets.
Okay. The Master Elodin looks at you cheerfully and he says, "Tell me, why do you get sore feet when you walk for a long time?"
So why do you get sore feet when you walk for a long time? For much like anything, let's see, the feet would need rest, just as much as the rest of the body and the mind does. Give them some time to sleep before you use them for an entire day.
Okay. Are you trying to be philosophical?
Yeah.
I think that gives you an advantage die against Master Elodin.
I'll take it.
I didn't give my advantage die for being philosophical.
Were you being philosophical?
I mean, kind of.
I mean, you were definitely being weird, but were you being philosophical?
There is a noticeable overlap between the two.
It's fine.
Well, I mean, were you using the philosophy skill?
I don't have the philosophy skill. Are you joking?
Okay.
So you don't have anything else to fork.
I mean, you were definitely being weird, and Master Elodin liked you.
I'm glad. Makes me happy.
See, up 3. Is it up 3?
Yeah.
Not so, but I do have a 6 in there.
So you could spend a fate.
I am going to.
So roll a die and see.
Yep. Yeah.
Too bad.
Too bad indeed.
Okay. You see Elodin look at you, like, think about your words, and I guess I don't know. I mean, it could just be because the road is so long. And then he calls over the other masters, and they start to discuss, and then they come back, and Elodin stands formally, and he says, "Sir, your tuition will be 4 talents and 8 jots."
Very appreciated, masters.
No problem. You're most welcome.
Good. And I think this money is more or less going to be like the very last of their travel money.
So, since you have such a low test, this will be an obstacle 1 test. If kills have vanished. Is it the guy?
I was trying to add a picture, but it I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Jeez,
it
guys,
like
I'm sorry. It just doesn't like me. That's what it is.
So if you choose to do a resources test, this will be an obstacle 1 resources test.
Yeah, we'll give that a try. It's a reasonable chance of success. Let's see, circles. There it is. Boom.
Nice. wonder what you allocate extra successes to. You ran circles, not resources.
No, it's the same amount of dice.
Okay.
Two.
So, I wonder what you do with extra dice on resources. Does anybody know? I don't remember reading something about it.
I don't think there's anything special.
Okay. You just don't have a problem paying for it.
No.
No problem. You can have some nice food in the meantime as well. Levi,
Yes.
would you step into the great stone hall with the stern masters staring at you expectantly?
I mean, of course, I tried to talk beforehand with some students that did admissions already and try to get some answers out of them. Now I just need to get lucky to get those questions. But yeah, I'm just going there and try to make my best impression.
Okay. So, Master Bundia, a round, agreeable fellow. Master Archivist, he asks you a question. He has a big smile on his face. And he says, in which year was the court loot invented?
Well, I certainly. Also, me as a player, I have no idea. What would I roll as a character to?
History, probably.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have
History.
I-
Well, that means you get to do a beginner's luck test.
Joy!
that. Okay.
So for beginner's luck test, you have double the obstacle. So it means it's really hard to answer right if you don't have a clue about history. Makes sense, I guess.
Well,
Um,
music.
Basically, just guess a number.
So the base obstacle is 3, which gets doubled to 6. So go ahead. You don't have any advantages or disadvantages.
Means I just roll.
You cannot fork anything. You can choose to spend Artha to increase your amount of dice, but then the Artha is gone and you can't spend it on something else.
Okay. So how do I roll something I don't have? Like,
See, if
Lightly.
you,
Falls
if you
under
look where it says-
perception.
yeah, if you look where it says being learned on your character sheet, right next to skills,
yes.
click add there.
Okay, add.
Yeah. And then type in history.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And the
Oh, under being learned, not under skills.
Oh, okay. That's perception, right?
yes.
And I just roll and to make it a 6.
No,
Oh,
you
I can't change it.
You put in the base obstacle as 3 for this roll. It'll double by itself.
Okay, that's the 3 points down here, right?
No, 1 point. Just every test is 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you need to make it up to 5, if I understand the system correctly, because you already
No.
have.
It's based on the root stat. So, for example, I have a perception of 4, so I would need 6 tests to learn history. It's 10 minus your root stat.
Yeah, so
Okay.
10 minus 5 is 5, so you still need 5 tests, and this is one of them.
Okay. So I just roll and do it in the modifiers, or I've never done it.
Yeah,
So.
you just roll. You don't have
Modifier is 3.
advantage. You can't fork anything in. You could use.
0 modifiers, base obstacle 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you have no idea when the court loot was invented.
Yeah, I probably have no idea how to talk around that as well, so Normally, I would just try to talk so much to him that he gives half of his answer maybe by himself, but I don't see that happening here.
So he says he gives you a smile and he says, "Well, you're only off by like 500 years."
Okay, I don't say I have no idea. Then or
Oh, my bad. I thought you mentioned a year. He says, does he say to no idea? You should read musical instruments through the ages. It's very good. If you get into the university, of course. I'd be happy to show you the book myself.
it would be a pleasure to me.
Then Master Ilodin looks at you and he says, very ponderous face, as if he's thinking about the world's greatest problems, and he says, "Why does apple pie taste sweet?" It's almost more like he's speaking to himself than to you.
Okay, I probably understand that as a question that is not meant to be answered by there's sugar in it, and if you chew enough on and the starch becomes sugar too, and I don't think he wants to hear this, so I probably try to persuade him and that's possible that give me an idea in which way he wants this question answered.
Sure, you can do a link test.
Okay. Okay, I had to add this as skill here.
I love Master Ilodin.
Yes, he's great. You're doing it great.
He's such a cool character.
It's fun.
What are your guys' favorite characters?
From the books in general?
Yeah, from the books in general.
He's definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Ori's pretty cool. Davy. Yeah.
When I roll,
sure.
how do I do it for this kind of roll that you told me?
So you pick. So you're going to use persuasion, right?
Yeah.
So once you've added persuasion to your list of skills,
I did.
You just click the die, and there you select modifiers. This is used mainly for advantage or disadvantage. I don't think persuasion has any advantages or disadvantages in this case. And you can choose to fork in other skills. So if you have skills that are related, like let's see, what do you have opened?
Oratory.
Like oratory can be related. Yeah, or you could fork in oratory. It has an official list of what you can fork in the skills descriptions in the book. But if we're not planning on looking up everything, for now we can say that oratory is a fork. So you can fork in oratory. So that will give you 1 bonus die. And for
one
the
as
rest,
modifier. I can use 1 as modifier here.
Yeah, but other things depending on whether you decide to spend Eartha.
I don't do that.
Yeah, then it's just 1.
Okay. And base obstacle is
3. Or no, this is persuading him, right? 2. Okay. So what do you say to persuade him?
Well, this question is very vague, but if you want me to, I could tell you from different angles. But if you want me to answer it in a special way, just tell me what exactly do you want to hear?
Tell me what the apple pie would tell me if it would speak to me. From this, you understand that he wants an
He's
answer
hungry.
that shows the philosophical nature of the apple pie, the true nature as he sees it.
So, I don't think that an apple pie is an individual. It's more like a collective, and the apple would complain that it's being cut down and heated, while the pie, the dove would complain about being squashed over and over again, then brought in a form that was never meant to be, and also heated until it got hard and couldn't move anymore. Also,
So why is the pie sweet then and not bitter?
Because the greatest what's it called? The greatest sweetness lies in tragedy.
Okay, go ahead and give me that sweet philosophy.
I don't have philosophy.
That is fine. You're welcome to try a beginner's luck test.
Whee!
So does anybody know what philosophy is based on?
Perception.
Perception.
Probably.
Okay. I'll give you one advantage die once you start rolling it for using philosophy against Elodin.
Okay. And
I wonder if that would be the
6.
die from the linked test or whether that would turn into 2 dice.
Obstacle is 6, right?
What do you guys think? Should Levi get 2 dice because this was a linked test and he's using philosophy against Loden, or are
Sure.
those one and the same?
Yeah, from a
I don't
rules
know.
perspective, I don't know whether or not you're allowed to do that, but I would like to think that you can.
Yeah, from a rules perspective, I would say 2 dice.
2 dice. Okay, so you get 2 dice.
Okay. It's what if I add 2 and base obstacle 6, right?
Yeah. No, put in 3 because
3.
it's
Oh,
And a double on its own.
automatically
6 now.
doubles.
But I don't think that matters.
I didn't think that matters either. No.
You made the same mistake I did.
So you filled that by 4. Oof, you're gonna end up paying.
I mean, it's not that far if you don't count if you cut the 6 out. Then.
I mean, true.
You don't fail by 10. It's always that.
Yeah, you could have failed by 10. Failed by 4. Yeah. I'm not convinced. We will talk about your fate now. He says, and he calls the other masters together, and they're nodding gravely amongst each other. There's very little argument. And quickly they arrive back, and they first answer me a question: are you from a well-known noble house?
I am, but I don't think I would tell them that.
I mean, you would have had to supply your name and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I technically I'm adopted, so I could use my old name, right?
You could have. You don't have the mark of privilege, right?
No.
Okay. In that case, you can blend in well enough. So, Levi, your tuition will be 11 round talents.
Well, what is?
Oh, chop chop, get going. So you need to pay 11 talents, and this would put a resources test ob 3. So you can choose to do the resources test, or you can choose to not risk taxing yourself and instead decide in what way, what devious and troublesome deeds you had to do to come by the money.
I write a letter to Daddy.
That sounds like you're using your resources.
Yeah, okay. So, resources. Where do I roll that? Sorry, I am completely. This is all new to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all new to all of us.
It's under attributes, and over on the right.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Thank you, Color. That is kind of you.
No
So
problem.
you have a resources of 1. Did you calculate your resources actually? Because you might not have a resources of 1.
I thought that calculates by itself.
No,
No.
it depends on
yeah.
how much resources you spent on various things.
Yeah, it depends on how much property you buy.
Yeah, and
I
stuff.
do have
Or-
property.
Would you mind just going for the other option where you decide what things you had to do and then figure out your resources later? Because it's
Okay.
quite mathy and it depends.
Not really.
Like,
I can take
Is
it.
it?
I can figure it out right now.
Yeah, it looks like you're at
1.
13, which would be. Where is it?
1 resources.
Which, yeah. Well, okay. So there's a rule in the book where if you're like a couple of points shy of.
Because his finery is going to count towards it as well.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
Yeah, his affiliation is going to count, plus the property, finery, shoes, travel gear, and toolkit. And that skill tools should cost you 8, not 1, which means you can't afford them.
Oh, but
Okay, then I probably wouldn't afford the relationship. But that one is cool. That means I
Although-
don't have skill.
okay.
If I don't have skill tools, that's bad. But I guess I'll have to do it. Oh man.
I'm not sure about things like toolkits and maybe even finery counting.
No, it says it does.
Not
Workshops
relationships,
do, I
so
know.
It is your property, reputations, affiliations, but also like things.
It says not relationships, spells, or gear.
Oh, I thought it did count gear, but not relationships or spells. Well, in that case, yeah, you'd be at 13, which I think should be close enough to say just go for it, but that is up to Hasa.
So it's 13.
So what is the switch point from up 1 to up 2?
Well,
From
Or
it would be
exponent
from
1 to
0 to 1. If he has 15, he'd have 1. Right
Okay,
now
yeah,
we're
that's
counting out
fine.
13.
So you would have a resources of 1. So there would be no possible way that you could make a resources 3 test. Unless you borrowed money from other characters or did something like that.
Okay, so my resources stay at 1.
yes.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll get my money from my intelligence group, but I owe them a favor. That might include some activities that are normally not permitted at the university.
That sounds reasonable.
Oh, it's not. Okay, you're right, and I am wrong. But still.
Okay, so you won't roll resources then, but you will describe that's what you went for, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Certainly, I am more than happy to write down notes. Session 1. Levi.
It's in trouble.
Levi is a favor to his friends in intelligence. There you go. Let me rephrase that. An unpleasant favor. There we go. We'll come up with something nice for you. How does everybody feel about break?
I mean, as how I understood it, Katza, don't have too much time, right?
Right.
I have about 20
you
minutes.
have to leave in like 25 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Okay.
it would be a pretty unlucky time to make a pause.
It would be, yeah. Okay. So, what will we do? Should we just go to end of session stuff here?
Yeah, seems fine to me.
Seems like an appropriate move. And then Kelsa will have time to do that for Desi as well.
I have time for that at least.
Okay, let's do that then. Let's see.
Oh, where do you mark things like
Yes.
Where do you mark Artha? Oh, right there. Now I'm seeing it. Okay. Sure. Let me start off with one fate and one persona.
Yes. So let's see. At the end of session, this seems like a storied, appropriate moment to take leaps in time. And we said we would be doing time leaps. Oh, I know, that's what we can do. Just before we end, I'd like to discuss with you what you guys do. Let's say during your first semester. Let's say that a semester of time passes since you enrolled into the university. So I will put some work into deciding into looking into how long a semester actually is. I was going to suggest that the resources cycle, we need to decide at the start of the game how long that's going to be. That's one semester, since well, it makes sense because that's when you have to pay the new admission fees every time.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd do a resources check, and you guys can log time towards practicing a skill, or to have a teacher teach you a skill, or two, depending on how much time a skill takes. So if you guys scroll down to the handout section, I've created a handy spreadsheet in Google Docs there that you can go to. It's in the keeping track of practice thing. You all have your own sheet on that spreadsheet. At the bottom, you see Brad, Kala, Kelsa, and Mark. Do you know? Have you all found your own sheet?
I have, and I've already filled it out a lot.
Okay, so as you put practice towards a certain skill, you can log how much time you spend on that. There's a maximum amount of time you can spend on one skill. I think it is something minus or plus your will exponent. I guess plus.
So the maximum number of hours you can practice in a day is 3 times your will.
3 times your will, right?
Yeah.
So you can spend 3 times your will per day practicing.
And how many days are in a semester?
Yeah, so that's something I'm going to figure out.
So there is a
each term lasts 2 months.
Okay.
There are 4 terms in a year, and then a 7-day break for high morning at the year's end. So 2 months. a month.
30 days normally, I think.
28 or 30, depending on how easy you
Each
want to
month
make
is made up
counting.
of 4 spans, or 44 days. So a span is 11 days, and you got 4 of them in a month. So 44 days,
Calendars.
so you've got 88 days to spend on practicing things, and you can maximum spend an amount of hours per day equal to 3 times your will exponent.
So if I have 15 will, I can practice 45 hours a day?
No, it caps
If you
out
have
that-
15 will, you've done something wrong.
No, I don't have that.
You can. It's a maximum of 20 per day, no matter what your will is.
Okay.
Because you still have to sleep sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it would
And
have been
let
awesome
me
to
look
spend
up the
time
rules.
with your will.
First, a question: is there anybody that wants to practice under a teacher? Because that is possible.
Sure. That's
Really?
why you come here, right?
What's
Definitely.
the difference of practicing under a teacher versus practicing just for practice?
Let me see.
Instructions gonna be a lot faster.
Yeah, probably. Let me look at page number. Learning from a teacher, page 50.
That would involve like finding a teacher that'd be willing to teach you. This would be
Well,
like
you're at a university. That's not very hard.
that'd be like it's almost like private tutoring in a sense. Like it's
Okay, so the teachers have to pass an instructor skill test. I mean, sure, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
They can only give advancement tests based on their skill level. That should be fine as well. The time for each instruction test is equal to 10 days minus instructor's will, plus 10 minus the student's will, plus the obstacle of test on offer. So it depends on a bunch of variables.
Mm-hmm. And isn't it that you cannot do anything else? Like, you cannot train anything else during the time that you are getting instruction from a teacher?
It's a little
all
bit
day,
vague
every
on that,
day.
because it says instruction eats up all of the character's free time. He may not practice other skills during that time.
Ah.
So
Yeah,
it
so
doesn't
Yeah.
say if that's for the teacher or for the student or both. But assuming that it's both, because they both going to spend a bunch of time on it, the teacher preparing and the student studying. Yeah. So during instruction is going to take less days. Because practice, it can take a year easily, or I guess 365 days easily. To learn a skill, depending on the skills, some shorter, others longer. But instruction takes significantly less. But you can't do anything else, so you can't practice or be instructed at multiple skills at the same time.
So that's the trade-off.
Yeah.
You can't practice anything else either, right? Or
No. You can't practice anything else either. Your day is just gone.
Okay.
You're busy being a student. In fact, I would argue that you can also not earn money during that time. So if you're studying hard, then you're not earning any money that you need to to get that to fix your resources if you had like reduced resources. So for those of you who have reduced resources, you might consider practicing, especially since refilling your resources is already practice.
This is getting a bit too real right here.
I think that I am not going to take a teacher, because like I think that there's nothing that I need a test in so badly that I'm going to dedicate an entire week to just that one thing. So
yeah, so like a time something would take would be like a span and a half or something, so like 15 days or more or less depending on how willful you and the teacher are and what the difficulty of the test you want is. Like that's something you can imagine. So you've got 88 days. So you guys can do with that what you want. Is there anybody that would like to like practice? You can fill in yourself. I'm interested in hearing what you do in the meantime. But for now, is there anybody who wants to be taught?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not right now.
I wish I could afford to, but no.
Ah.
I'm going to pass on that.
Okay, so Levi wants to be taught. Keep in mind that if you want to learn sympathy, you can also only do that by being taught.
Yeah. That's good. That's what I do.
Okay. So, tell me first, what kind of test would you like to do? A routine test? I guess they're all routine, right? They're beginner's luck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you would like to do a routine test. So then I need to actually look up those lists.
Yeah, if you're learning the skill, you do a routine test based on the attribute it's based on. Which for sympathy, I think is perception.
It doesn't really matter because the instructors have a high enough level to teach people. So you don't have to look up what the routine test is because you don't actually have to roll for it. You just have to say I spend the time doing it. The instructor has to roll to see if he can properly teach you. So I imagine Master Hem is teaching you.
It's Batman.
Indeed.
And sadly, the one day where Croft was teaching sympathy is not in that time.
So I imagine that Master Hem has a teaching of 5, a teaching skill. 1, 2, 3. No, 2. 2. So that is enough to give you a routine test. That is fine. So 10 minus the instructor's will plus 10 minus the student's will. I don't imagine Master Hem to have a particularly strong will. 3, I think. I will write that down. So 10 minus 3, so 7. The time it will take is 7. Plus 10 minus your will plus the obstacle of the test. Oh, I guess that is important then. What is your
5.
Base? Okay, 5. So routine. I just had it.
I mean, a routine test could just be a 1.
Yeah, a routine test could be up 1. So plus 1. So 8 plus 10 minus your will. 18 minus your will.
18 minus
is the time you will take in days to do this. So then you have 88 minus that left.
How many did I okay, I did my okay. So 73 days.
Sure.
Yeah. I
And
have one.
It was 80 days per semester?
88.
88.
That means I have learned the skill now.
No. You have your first beginner's luck test towards learning sorcery, and now you can sympathy. My bad. Now you can start learning sympathy by yourself as practice time if you want. You can also study it further under Master Hem. And you will need 4 more successful tests since you started with 5 to do that. So you will need.
I mean, you've got enough time to just grind sympathy, right? Would that be an acceptable use of the time?
Yeah, if you just want to do that, if you just
want sympathy, then you can
For
do
now,
that.
for now, yes.
So just grind the same thing 4 more times. I won't roll the instruction test again and again. So just 18 minus your will times 4. How much is that?
Be 52.
52. So you 73 minus 52 is the amount of days you have left after opening up sympathy.
Okay, 21 days left.
You've got 21 days left to do something.
Okay.
So we pick up 21 days later. Yeah, I had a question about the practice cycles. Because they usually state their time in terms of months. Like, for instance, a social skill takes 1 month to get a test.
I have the
Yeah, it's calculated
days
out
already.
based on days.
If you go to the practice timetable, it already says a cycle in days. So social takes 30 days. Miscellaneous takes 91. So I already turned it into days. That's already fixed for you. You just have to fill stuff in, and when you've got a cycle done, it turns green automatically for you. So
thank you.
So I went ahead and got 2 tests in falsehood, 1 difficult and 1 routine, because social skills are only 30 days. And then I spent the extra time that I wasn't getting those tests, put a little bit towards alchemy and a little bit towards astrology, and then throughout the entire time, I was learning chemistry, midwifery, and history.
Yeah, so you can empty out falsehood, the things in falsehood, so that it will turn green again automatically when you have them, and just note the tests on your sheet.
Yes. Hold on. I should be doing this and not that. I marked them on my sheet, but I'm just keeping it there for making sure, because I don't need a difficult test. I just need a routine one to open history. That gives me 2 more hours every day. Which actually means that I could spend 60 hours on falsehood easily. And
60 days.
60 days on falsehood. And thereby actually bump it up a whole level.
Sure.
Sweet.
You can be falsy and hoodie and stuff.
Falsy and hoodie, yes.
Brilliant. A false hoodie.
Yeah. Now you have Alar, Levi, because I imagine that's kind of impossible to get without one without having the other.
Oh no, I
trade food at the end of like a momentous time, but that just doesn't make sense for sympathy.
Oh really? Okay. Because this has sort of gone back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that if you have sympathy without Alar, it's like it's theoretical knowledge.
Yeah.
Sure, you could do that. The question is, how would you get Alar?
Trait food.
Yeah, trait food.
Okay, but which actions would you have to undertake to get Alar?
Yeah, I would
through
just like if it's represented in the fiction enough that it would make sense for you to have Alar after a certain point.
So how would you represent it in the fiction?
Trying sympathy.
Okay.
Just.
So, Levi, you've learned sympathy, but you have it as a theoretical knowledge.
Yes.
You know a bunch of bindings and things like that, but you can't actually use it.
You're in my boat.
So every, I think 6 to 12 sessions, give or take, depends on how the story develops. A chapter of story is closed, according to Burning Wheel. After this chapter of story, there will be a trait vote. The people can vote to say like, "Hey, you deserve this new trait," or they can say, "Hey, you haven't acted like that trait for a while. I think we're gonna remove that from you because you haven't been acting well, whatever that trait was."
Okay.
So, if you make it fictionally sensible that you have learned Alar, then people will vote that you get Alar. And then you will not just have the mechanical knowledge of sympathy, you will also have the knowledge of... You will also be able to use it. So...
So that means if I get my eyes removed, I only get the trait of blind until we get a vote on it.
No. If that happens, then you just are gonna get it. But
I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, other people spent a lot of effort, and they gave up a bunch of stuff in their character to get the gifted trait.
I was joking.
So in this case, I feel like it makes sense, and it makes sense in the story as well, right? You don't just talk to Master Hem for a bit and then know sympathy. You need to practice and put in effort.
It was a joke.
Yeah, but although even as a joke, I think that it is possible to get something like the trait of blind removed. It would require somewhat exceptional
cybernetics
circumstances for you to get the yes votes to have it removed, but it's possible.
Nice.
Go full Daredevil. Go in your other senses.
Definitely. So yeah, just so you know, and the rest of you guys can remember that as well. Like, if you want to keep a trait or learn a new trait, act like it. Spend in-game time to play that out. So yeah, come up with a way you learn sympathy, and make sure that that is a way that is so clear to everybody else that people will be like, "Oh yeah, that guy deserves sympathy. Let's give this guy sympathy."
mm-hmm.
You can still use your newfound sympathy. You just can't use it to do magic, but you can definitely help other people when they're doing sympathy. Heck, you could even try to set up some kind of illegal teaching ring to try and teach new students sympathy.
Illegal teaching ring.
I just imagine that how well it would be with people if they are doing sympathy and no, you're doing it completely wrong. I can't do it myself, but you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Like that.
So, as time passes, we'll do resources maintenance tests next time. But as time passes, things might have also happened. So, keep in mind that at the beginning of next session, I am going... Actually, no. It's actually more convenient for me to know it before then. So, between now and the coming few days, from you guys, I would like to hear some ideas about events that happened during those 2 months. So things don't have to happen. It may just be a boring time. I don't need everything from everybody. But I'd like it if at least like one of you guys could give me something like, "Hey, Davy and me had a falling out, and she is now very angry at me and tries to get revenge on me by doing nasty things," or some kind of interesting, complicating factor that happened during absence. It can even be very specific, like I love the example that Adam Coble gives in one of his videos. He says, "Yeah, so you come to me as a player and you tell me hey, I have just killed the king. I am in the throne room with blood on my sword and the guards are bursting in. Can we play that scene out? So you can ask me for like a very specific situation that maybe, heck, you might not know why you killed the king, but you killed the king. And let's start from there. So I'd like something like that from you guys. There's not going to be a mandatory everybody has to give me something, but I would like for you guys to seriously consider it and to spend some time and effort into coming up with something.
Give you
As I
hooks.
feel like
Hooks.
it adds something to play, this kind of creative fluidity of jumping between time and scenes and things, I think is something really cool that you can do in role-playing games. And I would love to explore that more in this game.
Sweet.
So does anybody have an idea of something they wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, we got
I've killed
some
the king,
ideas.
and I have blood on my hands, and I'm in the front.
Everyone's dead.
Everyone died in the purge.
I mean, I feel like someone, but I don't know exactly who, but maybe someone who shouldn't have, or someone that has sworn they would never comes to Desi for love advice. Like, whether it's Casper or one of the teachers or, one of somebody else's notable NPCs. I think it would be interesting.
Maybe it's Ambrose.
maybe it's Ambrose.
I can...
Maybe it's what's your girlfriend's name again, Lynn? Cassandra?
Katarina.
Katarina? Maybe it's Katarina? I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that.
Desi for love advice.
Mm-hmm.
Next session. ... Anybody else have any interesting assumptions that they would like to explore?
Well, my business as usual may involve some complications. Since I don't have since I have like an academic knowledge of alchemy and no alar, I'm part of my business is probably trying to identify.
I don't think you need Alar for alchemy.
Well, it is a sorceress skill, but that is certainly a decision that's like up to you whether you think it.
I don't think it makes sense to say that you need Alar for alchemy. I mean, okay. I imagine you could say that you need chemistry for alchemy, but I think you said you opened that, right?
Yes.
So either way, you're fine.
Okay. Well, okay. Then, even if I'm not necessarily inveigling other students in the process of creating alchemical stuff to sell to Ventus, I am still, using our shared workshop, making alchemical things that the university would not approve of for sale to Ventus, where to certain Ventish nobles who appreciate things that are that if the wider nobility found out about, they'd be in trouble.
Okay, so you want there to be trouble because of that?
Well, I want there to be trouble to maybe successfully sidestep, but having to deal with that sidestepping.
Okay. By the way, like depending on how much things you guys offer, I may or may not be able to put them in one session, but I'll definitely keep them.
Sure. And does anybody know how long per day it takes to work a job?
Just as long as as it takes to practice the skill, I
The
think.
same skill. Okay.
As it counts as practice towards that skill.
Ah, okay.
So actually, working the job. If your working job is doing alchemy, then you are actually working towards an alchemy advancement test as well.
Makes sense.
Anybody else have any assumptions that they would like me to?
I think that there would be a point because I assume because Mathers has been here for 8 years, that it was originally your workshop, but now that you've fallen on a bit of hard times with your resource test, that you might be looking for a partner.
Yes, and on great terms. I'll let you be you can be the owner of record, and you can set your own schedule. You can just let me know what hours that you need the lab that'll be open to you. But we do need to set that schedule.
Indeed.
Yeah, and what I'm not saying is that because I don't want you to walk in when I'm doing illicit things, but
Right. Oh, of course, it's fine. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
yeah.
I think she picks that up, but it takes it in an entirely different direction. Like, I don't want you in the lab at these times. Wink.
Yeah, I mean, it's working with volatile chemicals. Just as I wouldn't want to surprise you, I would appreciate the same consideration.
True.
All right. Well, I need to get going very soon. Are we
Yeah.
going to do our bits?
Yeah. As
That
soon as
soon.
I can find them.
Do you have any fruit?
Yes.
Fate,
Barley
beliefs.
wants a piece of
Fate
fruit.
points are earned
Check
from
in the refrigerator. That's probably good.
manifesting the character's beliefs in a convincing and entertaining manner. Entertaining doesn't just mean funny; it can all be dramatic. So,
Couple of strawberries.
does anybody believe they manifested their character's beliefs?
None of my beliefs really came up because of the way.
I don't think it goes for much people because we didn't do very much, but some people might have earned something.
Well, I mean, certainly during downtime I am doing so, but I don't know if that counts or not.
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure.
Yeah, I think this for me was more of a trait session than beliefs and instincts.
I agree. One of my instincts definitely came up, but
Yeah.
but that was pretty much the only one.
Let's say no for now, because I imagine that it's that downtime is not considered as role playing.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as long as it comes up during the session, then
Yeah,
it's-
it'll probably apply towards next session.
But I'll look it up. So, anybody manifested their beliefs? Okay, instincts. Fate points are earned for playing instincts when such play gets the character in trouble or creates a difficult or awkward situation. Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Nice.
Anybody else?
Nope,
Okay.
not so much.
Fate Eartha can be earned by using traits, but only if invoking that trait alters the direction in the story in an unforeseen way or makes life difficult for the character. Did anybody do that?
I don't really think any of my traits really came up to send the story in an unforeseen direction or make my life difficult. Anybody
Yeah.
else?
Yeah, I was mercenary. It didn't bite me in the ass.
yeah, I was geometric, but it helps and wasn't particularly interesting.
Unless being misunderstood, but I mean that kind of falls under never speak plainly, but
Yeah.
not well. I didn't take a negative die because of it.
Hmm.
Like, but I wasn't doing like a body of argument, so that's where it actually comes in as a trait thing. Anyway, so I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Then a fate point is earned if a player can stop the table dead with humor while in character. I didn't think so.
Yep.
Yeah, there are small chuckles here and there, but
Right skill, right time.
no cafades.
If a character has the right skill when no one else does to keep the story moving, he should be rewarded with a fate point. I don't think there was a story so much to keep moving.
Yeah.
Persona. I don't think any persona was earned.
Given the nature of the session, that would be weird.
Yeah.
True.
And
Bit of
definitely
a
no beats
prologue.
points. So you guys can choose to award the NPC's fate as well if you believe that they embodied their beliefs, played out their instincts.
Elodie.
Yeah,
Can we-
Elodie for sure.
Give some fate to Elden, please.
Who do you want to give fate to?
Elodie.
Yes.
Hmm?
I
Yeah,
think
you can
we should-
definitely give fate to Elodin.
I think Elodin deserves all the fate, or at
Cool.
least one fate.
I will write that in my session notes and then put it down somewhere. Why did I close it and then open it again? Elodin gets a fate. Cool. Okay. I think that's it for end of session.
Good.
All right.
We'll do the resources cycle next time, and if you guys come up with stuff with assumptions that you would like to see in play, such as I killed the king, then you can still message me on Skype for the coming few days. And I
Brilliant.
think we can wrap it up.
Cool. So, thank you so much for running. This is,
Thank you guys for playing.
I'm having a lot of fun already, Hasa. Thank you.
yeah.
It's gonna be a good time if you're filled.
Yeah, I've been wanting to, as I mentioned, been wanting to play this forever. Like I had the books and read up and made characters and never like got to jump in more than like a little bit on as like play by post, which never works.
Surprisingly, like burning wheel gems burn out very fast.
Yeah.
Weird.
So thank you so much for jumping on the wheel, and I think you're doing an awesome job so far.
Thank you.
And
Really enjoying it.
let me see. I should probably go to you first, Kelsa, and if you want to somehow
No way.
pack in all the stuff that that you do on the internet, or maybe skip it this time if you want. If I know you have stuff
No,
to do,
let's do it.
so it's up to you. I give you the floor.
Everybody, I'm Kelsa. I play a lot of games on the internet. Currently, I am playing 4 games a week. Let me just go over them really, really fast. Mondays, starting this upcoming Monday at 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. Pacific time. I will be running a game of Blades in the Dark. Brand new game of Blades in the Dark is going to be starting up on Texardamus' channel. If you follow me on
Text is cool.
Twitch, you can look at my calendar and see all of those links. Obviously, Wednesdays here at 10 a.m. Pacific time, all of my times are going to be Pacific because that's the time zone I'm in, is this game right here that you just watched, which is Burning Wind, which is the Burning Wheel game. Then Thursdays, sorry, I don't play on Thursdays right now. Fridays is the next game that I'm playing, where I am in a Mouse Guard campaign. Mouse Guard is like Burning Wheel's adorable baby brother, and I play an adorable tiny mouse named Marigold, and she is super cute. On Saturdays, we're going to be starting up a game of, and that's on AP Gaming Reels channel. On Saturday, I will be starting up a second show on AP Gaming Reels channel. It's going to be The Sprawl, and should be starting with session 0 this Saturday or next Saturday, depending on technical issues. Either way, I'm super excited, and I didn't realize how much I love Cyberpunk until I started prepping for this game, and just went crazy down that rabbit hole. So
Awesome. Yeah, that's another one I've been wanting to check out. Like, it's powered by the apocalypse, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty A+, so far, and like, check out Session 0 for all the dank lore that we've come up with, and like, we've been working on it on the back end for a little while, and it's all gonna kind of come out and get fleshed out a little bit more. So I'm really excited about that one.
Awesome.
All right, I think that's everything from me. Follow me on Twitter at Kelsa, or here on Twitch, twitch.tv/KelsaDelphi, to learn more, but I gotta go. So, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next
Bye.
week.